What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another podcast with the Pre-Pump Show. Zach and Nate here, and today we're going to be talking about choosing the right fitness coach or trainer that's right for you. Zach, welcome back, brother. How you doing today?
Doing great. Happy Monday, everyone. This is a super crucial topic for anyone in the fitness world or people who are starting to look to get into the fitness world. How are you doing, Nate?
Doing great, man. Doing great, and I'm excited to dive into this as well. We got a lot of things to cover, so we're gonna dive right into it here. You know, number one, there are so many trainers out there and information that it's nearly impossible to, number one, choose the right guy or right coach, fitness coach that's for you. And then like who you should and shouldn't listen to, right? There's just so much information out there that it's like one guy who has an amazing physique compared to another guy are saying completely different things. And it's like, who do we listen to? You know what I mean? And then also, if you're looking for a coach, it's like which one should you invest in, or should you look into getting help from? You know, so this is a big topic once again, and we're excited to dive right into this. Zach, what do you have to say about that first point here?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different aspects in a coach to look for that it's so crucial that we kind of define what we think would be good characteristics of a coach to look for.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So again, the reason why we wanted to go over this is because, why we're gonna do this today, or what we wanted to go over was number one. You know, we're gonna try and do our best to help you guys choose the right one, and sort of like, okay, if you're looking, this is what you should consider. These are the things that you should start to think about. What are the qualities or characteristics that a fitness coach has that you need, that you should start to consider, that your future trainer or coach would need or should have. And then, lastly is when you should start looking for one, I think is another huge important topic, because people, as we know, go years without actually investing in one because they just want to do it on their own. Whereas some people who are maybe just starting out, maybe they just kind of need to learn the ropes a little bit, and then down the road, once they find sort of a point at which they're struggling in, then they can invest, at that point.
It's easy to overlook how important or how crucial an influence like this in your life can be. So the complications of an accountant, an insurance guy, a financial agent, a lawyer, whatever job role it might be in your life, it's easy to overlook just how important their jobs and responsibilities are. So since we're personal trainers, fitness coaches, we know kind of in depth what you want to look for, what's in a good program, what's in a good coach, and that's why we're sharing this with you guys today.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. So the different types of fitness coaches, we want to dive into this because there are so many sort of niches or specific trainers, right? And we're going to sort of break that down a little bit here. Number one, there's physique trainers. So I would say this is more of like the bodybuilding type coaches, where like if you have a specific goal to sort of accomplish with your physique, a physique trainer would be more for people who are focused on like achieving your physical goals, right? Hey, I want a bigger chest, or bigger shoulders, bigger back, or even smaller waist, even. So they're really focused on specializing in the body composition and aesthetics. Zach, why don't you hit up the next one here?
In sports, we see a lot of performance trainers, and it's more of like an athletic-based performance type of person that's going to help you in your workouts, being explosive if you're a football player. Like if you're a high jumper, they're going to work on your leg strength, things like that. So these performance athletes are kind of designated in the sports realm when trying to train people.
Yeah, an athlete's not going to go to a physique trainer because they want to look better. They want to perform better, right? So hence, if you're trying to get better at a certain sport, you're going to want to probably focus on someone who specializes in performance. So, whether that's strength, speed, agility, endurance, stuff like that, what Zach said. The next one is lifestyle trainers. So these are trainers that basically help clients to learn how to make healthy lifestyle changes. This is obviously going to include your diet, your exercise, but also with someone like me, for example, who is a family of 4 and has a very busy schedule with like family and work and stuff. It's like, if I was to get a coach sort of right now in my life, I would want to sort of have someone help me understand how I can make this a lifestyle while sort of also being busy, outside of that, right? Because again, it's all about making it a lifestyle. But these are coaches or lifestyle coaches that actually help you. Maybe they start off slow, maybe it's kind of gradually working your way up to new levels, but they will also help you face mental roadblocks and just provide you with guidance and overall well-being. So
the next one we have is a boot camp type trainer. These trainers kind of offer outdoor training sessions and may specialize in things like CrossFit, Pilates, yoga, maybe meditation, any type of activity where you're in a group setting. Usually it's high intensity type workouts, not usually weight training, although, CrossFit is one of the sports where it's like a boot camp class weight training session.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and these next couple ones are sort of the same things we talked about already, but we got fitness coaches, which, these guys are just going to really provide guidance and support to help you maintain, So if you're already in shape, right, and you're just maybe having a hard time sticking with it, and your just discipline isn't there yet, you want a coach who's going to keep you accountable. Well, this coach is going to really help to sort of navigate you and keep you accountable on how to continue to make progress and also maintain the level at which you're at. Again, so that's going to consider a lot of exercise, plans or workout plans, and then obviously, individualized nutrition plans and a lifestyle advice as well. So, and yeah, the last one, sports trainers. So these guys, again, are sort of like the athletes. These trainers specialize in working with athletes from various sports to enhance their performance, prevent injuries, and then overall improve their fitness. So we just wanted to dive into that as well because, and I feel like there's a lot more out there, like different types of trainers and coaches and,
For sure, yeah. Nutritionists, different style.
Dietitian, a health coach. Maybe they're not like so focused on physical, but they're focused on mental, right?
Yeah.
So many different things, guys. So hope some of those points help you a little bit to understand, maybe, okay, like, I'm looking for more of a physique trainer. I want to transform my body. Or maybe you're a sports guy and getting ready for, I don't know, the Olympics or something. So our next point here, we're going to try and do our best to sort of share with you what to consider and what we would recommend when looking for a fitness coach. So number one is a huge topic, and that is the online versus in-person training. We're going to dive in a little bit. What's the difference? What does that look like? What we would recommend you do if you're this type of person, which one would be best for you, right? So let's start off, Zach. In person, right, as we know, a lot more hands-on, right? You might have a great workout because they're going to push you, right? They're not going to, I would say anytime you work out with someone, wouldn't you say you kind of push yourself a little bit more?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, in person is obviously going to have a coach where they're going to guide you through the workouts. They're going to push you to your limits and,
not only teach you like how to push yourself, but kind of actually teach you how to do like the workout itself. Yeah.
The actual workouts, right? They're obviously going to critique you, tell you what you need to work on, and then but apart from that, it's like not really much else.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to ask you, is that kind of the only pro of in-person training?
I would say so, and I'm not just saying that because obviously we're online fitness coaches, but I would say, to be honest, that's all I did when I was an in-person trainer. Like I probably would give them nutrition guidance, but it was guidance. It wasn't like they were going to actually get to their goals because it was just like, it was like advice. It's like, hey, maybe eat a fistful of protein, 2 fistful of carbs, and a fistful of veggies, right? Or keep your fats at a thumb portion size. But at the end of the day, they don't need that. They just need to have someone like literally tell them what to do and then just follow it. You know what I mean? That's most people, I would say. But yeah, outside of anything for an in-person trainer, you're not going to get much other than just probably a very awesome guided workout, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
So, and let's just touch more on the in-person. I believe that in-person is a lot more expensive. For a trainer, they're not going to get as paid. They're not going to get as paid as they are actually, however much the program costs, right? They have, your money's going to the gym, to the managers, to everyone else, and then last, the trainers getting paid. So even with that said, like, because the trainers aren't probably getting paid the amount that they should, which should be the whole amount, right? Because they're doing all the work. But that mindset comes with like, okay, I might not take my client as seriously because it's not even worth it. If I was to give them a whole meal plan, touch base with them outside of the gym, which is my own time away from my family and stuff like that, I'm not getting paid for that. I'm only getting paid for guiding them in the workouts. They might not take you as seriously just because they're not getting paid for it, right? So it's sort of outside work. I would say probably a good trainer would probably take the time to check in with you, make sure you're staying on your meal plan outside of the gym. But other than that, I would say it's more expensive. And on top of that, you have to follow their schedule, right? If a client, if your only time to work out is super early in the morning and the client's booked, well, either you have to find a new trainer or you have to find another time that really you're trying to just push it to get in a workout.
And then at that point, even if you're trying to work out more, now you just have to pay more and more because now you need the personal trainer with you.
Right.
So, I mean, you're already paying up to what, $100 per session?
Right.
Per hour maybe?
More so. I mean, if you want to look at it monthly, you just do the math.
Yeah, it adds
right?
up. It's ridiculous.
Like 3 months worth of training is ridiculous. And then also, it's like the in-person, man, you're almost limited to like 3 times a week, right? Which then, I guess it'd be a good case for your sake because you do push-pull legs. But if I really want to transform, if I'm a physique trainer and someone invests in me as far as like an in-person coach, say I'm doing in-person, I'm a physique trainer, that person wants to truly transform their body, imagine the cost that it would take for 1 to 3 sessions per week. But we need to hit up all muscle groups, right? So as a physique trainer, most physique trainers are going to have you train at least 4 to 5 days a week. You're hitting each muscle group, probably 2 muscle groups per day, and you want to spend time on those muscle groups. So, there's another question: is it 30 minutes or is it an hour, right? So it's like it adds up, and ultimately, it's like, are you really getting the bang for your buck? Are you actually getting results for the amount of money you're paying, for the attention that you need, and what about, and then it's like, what about nutrition, right? What are you doing on the weekends that your trainer's not really, is probably out partying and enjoying their life? So,
and you don't even have an accountability partner.
Right.
Question for you. With an in-person trainer, do you have access to them 24/7, like via text or anything, or are they not accountability outside the gym?
I would say you do have access to them because, like, it's like, for example, they're late, right? And they need to tell you, hey, I'm going to be late or something. They probably have access to you through text or whatever if they want to give you a call. I definitely kept in touch with my clients, but I had no sort of obligation to reach out to them outside of their, 1 to 3 sessions per week, If I really wanted them to get amazing results, which I did, but if I really knew that, okay, this is what you need to do to look this way or lose this many pounds or gain this much weight or gain this much muscle, like, it would really take some time for me to create them a good meal plan and then reach out to them outside of the gym, which, that's taken away from my family. That's taken away from my own time. And so, yeah, it's like, I think trainers are very, like, more so underpaid for what they do, especially if you get a guy who is in touch with them outside of that. So let's dive into online. So again, we're talking about online versus in-person training here. What's the difference? We're not trying to bash in person. I think people do need that guidance in person because they don't know what they should do or what it looks like to do a squat, right? So having that guidance is good. If you're not really like a online person too, you're more of like an old school guy. Like, I would say, if you can't really follow a video on how to do a squat, then you're probably better off getting an in-person trainer. But these days, everything's online, and with the right type of coaching, you can probably learn how to do a squat through a video or something, right? I learned most of my training, bro, through YouTube. And then I just went and experiment and see how it felt, if I was doing it correctly. And over the time, I just got better at it,
I agree with that. That's kind of how I approached it too.
Right.
But one of the good perks about in-person that I just realized is the gym anxiety side of it. Walking in with a personal trainer helps someone who's a little bit overweight. just kind of feel better about themselves being in such a large group of people who they think are judging them.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I think that helps. And let's dive into online here. So online, obviously there's less hands-on stuff, right? But I would say more guidance all across the board, right? You're gonna get, if I would say this, if your only goal is to achieve your goal, right? Mm-hmm. If your only concern is to get to your goal, I would say online is going to be best for you because you're going to get all areas covered when it comes to workouts, nutrition, and accountability. Whereas like if you're more concerned about your form rather than like you could probably push off your getting to your goals sooner, like probably in person would be better. But if you're like, I'm tired of doing what I'm doing, it's not working, and I just want to get to my goal, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Online is going to be best for you because, again, they cover all aspects in what you need to do. What would you say, Zach? Would you agree?
Yeah, so I think some of the counterpoints, and I actually just want to mention, a lot of people don't know online fitness coaching, personal training is even a thing.
Right.
Like I've told people that's what I do, and people are like, "What do you mean? Like, how do you do that online?"
Actually, yeah.
But yeah, so one of the big main counterpoints of online training is you're not in person showing them how to do the workout if they're a beginner.
Right.
But just because we're not in person with you doesn't mean we're just telling you to do a barbell bench press. We have tutorial videos, we have step-by-step instructions. We still have a guide set in place to teach beginners how to do a workout.
Right.
And another counter argument is we're not there to push you, which we might not be physically there with a gun to your head point saying, hey, you got to lift heavier. But we still can track all your progress of all your lifts. Right. So we can go back last week and be like, hey, dude, you didn't go up in weight for the last 4 months. What's going on here? Exactly. We have to change something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we still are kind of in person with you a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten comments from people, my past clients, where they said that, hey, it was almost as if Nate was right there with me, and when they maybe thought that they weren't pushing themselves hard enough, like they even said, oh, I had just a picture of Nate in my head telling me to go harder. You know what I mean? So in a sense, we are there. You have everything you need, sort of, just to say like everything you need is there. But again, the only downside is like, okay, we're not there in person to truly be hands-on and like guide you through the whole workout, which I would say most people don't really need. You know what I mean? Again, we just explained that we learned all of our way of trainings through YouTube, and so it's all about experimenting, I believe, too. It's like, okay, you test out the workout program for, a week, and then you just learn the movements. You get better as you go, and, that's what I would say about online is like, yeah, we are there, but not there. You know what I mean?
And like Nate said, since you have every aspect that you need to reach your goal, it's actually more affordable for you because now all you have to hire is one fitness coach in comparison to a personal trainer in person, a nutritionist, a mindset coach, whatever other coach it may be, So it's actually, price per capita better if you were to just do an all 3-in-1 coach.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And again, you just get that more accountability outside the gym because as we've all said it, 70 to 80% is your results from in the kitchen, the nutrition.
Amen to that.
So we all know sort of how to push ourselves in the gym and basic training levels, but
you want to move on to the last point about class type workouts?
Yeah, you go ahead on that.
Yeah, so one of the, I guess, cons of online training is you're not, I guess there are online courses where you can be involved with a live session.
That would be another specific coach that would.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, so maybe if you need a class, you can do an online class. But yeah, in person, you miss the boot camps, the CrossFits, Pilates, stretches, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, Nate, let's be honest. I don't know how to word this, but if you're trying to build a body that you're happy in, would you recommend a boot camp style class for that?
I think this goes back to my point where it's like, if your only concern is to just get to your goals, then no. Because unless, I would say most people are in those boot camps, in those atmospheres, I would say because of the environment, the motivation, the feeling of all being together in one sort of, group getting after it, you know, pushing each other, screaming and yelling, you know, and sweating together. Um, but if someone just has a specific goal in which it's to build muscle and burn body fat, then we'll go into even more details here. It's like a group isn't going to be really specific towards those goals, right? I mean, you're going to be probably most likely hitting cardio most of the time. Hit cardio, circuits, interval training, and stuff like that. But you know, you want to, whenever you're actually looking for a coach, you want to find someone that's actually going to help you achieve your goals and that specializes in those goals, because you want to do all the right things that's going to get to your goals. I see too many people thinking they're doing the right things, like running on a treadmill for 5 to 10 minutes before they start the workout, or running miles on the treadmill after the workout. The only reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to burn more body fat. But if I were to tell you that there was a better way, that you actually didn't have to do that, that actually less cardio is a lot better, more efficient and practical for long-term success, then you would stop doing treadmill, we'd stop running for miles on end, right? Or outside running and jumping jacks and jump ropes.
I actually just switched a client from HIIT to slow steady state, and he's like, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel as garbage, and you actually burn more calories.
And it's safer.
Yeah.
If you get a guy who's older,
True, 100%.
Don't have them do burpees, bro. They're going to freaking, hurt themselves. Box jumps. That's so dangerous.
Oh, dude, I hate seeing people do box jumps. That's another thing that I think is wrong with in-person trainers. A lot of people are doing these circuits, a lot of cardio-based workouts, and it's like, dude, let's build some muscle, not just burn calories.
Right, yeah.
And that actually demotivates people. So here's from an obese standpoint, overweight standpoint. When you're doing all of that so frequently, your heart rate is so high that your body is so thrown out of whack when you're not used to working out that you start getting dizzy, and working out just becomes horrible. So weightlifting is actually more easy to get into when you're overweight or obese than like circuits and those style trainings.
And it is demotivating, like you said, because you're doing all that hard work and it's like getting barely any results.
Yep.
So it's like now you're like, why am I doing all this hard work for basically nothing? Whereas like you could do a little bit, you can do obviously less intense cardio and just use all your energy for some good resistance training, and you're gonna feel good after your workout, but you're actually gonna make progress. You're gonna actually get closer to your goals, and you don't have to kill yourself during the workout. So I would say we're definitely knocking these points out. I think we need to kind of get back to we're talking about online and in person here, but like you said, we got to do. If your goal is to get somewhere, the closest way to get there is from point A to point B is a straight line, right? A lot of people are trying to get from point A to point B, and they're spending years just in the wilderness. It's like the Bible verse. It's like people are in the wilderness. The Israels were in the wilderness for 40 years, when in a sense it should have took them 11 days to get to the promised land in which God told them to, right? So it's like, if you want to just get to from point A to point B, the fastest way is possible is just a straight line. And that's to listen to your coach and do all the right things you need to do to get there, rather than just trying to figure it out on your own or trying all these different other weird programs and boot camps and stuff like that. Because you could spend so much time doing that stuff and barely get to your goals. And so I think that's great. I think we touched a lot of points on there on online versus in person. So let's move on, guys. What to consider and what we recommend when looking for a coach. Number 2 is that, you want to look for someone who has the fruit on the tree. Wouldn't you agree, Zach?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think this is the most important part, actually, looking for a coach.
Why would you ask for marriage advice from someone who is divorced?
Amen to that, yeah. Yep.
So it's like, with money, why would you ask someone for, how to build a business when they're working a 9-to-5? That doesn't have a business. Right. It doesn't make sense. So you want to get help from people who have the fruit on the tree. What that looks like is, okay, where's the evidence in which they say that their program works? Number 1, you got to look at the trainer itself, right? I feel like a trainer has to do what they preach, right? They have to practice what they preach.
I agree, yeah.
In which they look the part, right? I believe that that's not the only thing, but that, hey, if you're going to be a good example and who I want to listen to and follow, I want you to also put put in the work as well, not just see you sitting on your butt all day. But number two is, okay, have they been in your shoes, right? And I think that's a perfect. That's like a great. That's like a top, you know, number one thing for me is like, okay, have they been in my shoes? You know, because like, how could they ever relate to what I'm feeling right now? You know?
Yeah, this is like going back to what Nate was talking about, going from point A to point B. If there's a roadblock on that road, why wouldn't you want a bridge that is able to actually like hold your car? Mm-hmm. You know, why would you use a different style of bridge that's not able to fit, you know, the specific car you're in? Right. And that's what it's like using a personal trainer or a fitness coach who, you know, has been in your shoes. They know what works, what doesn't work, the struggles, how to fix those struggles. That's the beauty of finding someone who's walked in your shoes.
I want to sort of paint the picture a little bit more what he was saying. So from point A to point B, you're on the road and you had someone who was already on that road, and say there was like a ditch. Well, you know, that coach would say, hey, there's a ditch there, don't go that way, right? Because the trainer actually went into that ditch and made the wrong turn. Well, because the trainer's been through that same journey that you're trying to get to, they're going to tell you everything that they learned and what not to do and what to do so that you can avoid the ditch, so that you can avoid the mistakes and wasting money and time. I mean, to put it more practical, how many people are spending money on supplements while they're not even consistent in their diet and training? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or why are they spending hours in the gym with little progress? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So again, it's like you definitely want to have someone or a coach where you're going to invest in that has obviously the fruit on the tree, that there's evidence that the program works, but also have they been in your shoes?
You painted that a lot better than I did. Thank you.
Oh, it's all right. I knew we all knew where you were going with it. I just wanted to.
I don't think people knew. Okay. That was horrible. It
was good, bro. It was good.
The bridge.
I knew what you're talking about though. But obviously we want, you know, the fruit on the tree looks like okay. Or should we wait for the testimonials? I think we should.
Hold on, yeah. I'll add a point to this. Okay, you need someone who can actually lead, someone who can teach, because at the end of the day, if someone's there to help you get to your goals, how beneficial is it going to be if they're no help when it comes to teaching or guiding someone along that path?
Yeah.
Like, do they just expect you to consume their knowledge and do everything on your own?
Right.
So you need a leader to be a fitness coach.
Right. Yeah, and someone who's just also going to tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear, right? And I get that all the time. I have to be straight up with my clients and just tell them the truth because I care. I believe that a trainer who doesn't care will literally tell you everything you want to hear, or at least say nothing about what you're doing is wrong, or the reason why you're not where you want to be is because, they're going to sugarcoat things, right? They're going to kind of water things down, whereas a good trainer who actually cares is going to be like, dude, it's no one's fault but yours that you're not making time for your meal prep and that you're not prioritizing going to the gym, okay? So that's someone who you want because that's going to actually motivate you and push you, whereas someone who doesn't really care, you're not going to care either, right? If they don't care, why should you?
And on the other side of that, as the client, you need to realize this isn't personal for us. We're not trying to be mean. We're just trying to help you understand where you're failing at and why you're not achieving your goals.
Yeah, if you want to go back to what you said, where it's like everybody, like if you invest in a doctor or a lawyer and stuff like that, you're going to want a good lawyer, someone to back you up, or you're going to want a good doctor to tell you what's wrong with you, not just say, oh yeah, like you have these symptoms, but here's some medication. We hate those kinds of doctors that just we already know we're going to the doctor just to tell us that we need to just take medicine. Like, no, we want a doctor who's gonna be like, here's what you got to do, here's what's wrong, these are the symptoms, here's the answer, the key.
I never thought about it like that. I like that. That's brilliant.
Neither did I. I just thought about it now.
So, question real quick. I know we're spending so much time and you're going to start getting mad at me.
No, I don't care. I think this is great stuff.
Have you ever had a coach, not maybe fitness coach, but have you ever coached someone who coached anything else?
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Not maybe necessarily coached, but was probably like a leader in something, or I don't know. I can't think of anybody on the top of my head.
So here, while you think for a sec, so I am currently actually coaching my childhood baseball coach, and he said, Zach, straight up, I know what it's like to be a coach. I know you need to have the hard conversations with, for him, it was his kids, the people he was coaching, right?
Right.
For me, it's him. He's like, Zach, I want you to have those hard conversations. If I'm not doing something right, I want you to get on my butt. And he actually called me up one time and he's like, dude, I'm not seeing results. What's going on? Like, your stuff's not working. I outlined a whole 5-step reason why he's not reaching his goals for that weigh in, that specific weigh in. Sleep, water, nutrition, steps was at 4,000. Like, here are the things that's going wrong. Like, we need to fix this. And those hard conversations with a coach are going to get you results.
Yeah. Amen to that. Yeah. So a huge, crucial aspect in which you want to look for this in a coach is, okay, are they a leader, right? So let's go ahead and summarize because we still have a lot to cover here, but just so that we can keep our listeners in tuned and awake here is that number one, okay, we went over online versus in person, the things that you want to look for. Are you someone who needs that one-on-one, that hands-on in the gym because your form sucks and you just don't know how to actually do an exercise? Or do you not much so need that help in that area and you're looking for more of the overall guidance and knowledge in the nutrition department, the workout department, and the accountability? And then obviously, again, number two is like the fruit on the tree. Do they have the evidence in showing that they themselves have been through what you're trying to go through? And, does their program work? Do they look the part? Can they lead? Are they practicing what they preach? And then I would say too, just to add on, is like just because they look the part as well doesn't mean that they're a good coach or trainer, right? So that's something that you need to consider as well. Is it's not always about the looks either, right? Which the third point here is going to be testimonials, okay? And like these are going to be reviews or sort of what other people had to say about that trainer when they were working together. So, do they have not only themselves the fruit on the tree, but do their clients have the fruit on the tree? And what are their clients saying about the trainer? You definitely want to do some research on that as well, because we can all talk good and highly about ourselves, right? But when you start to get people who are talking highly of you, that's your reputation. That's what sort of helps other people believe you all the more, is when you get real people who were in the position that they're in, trying to get to where they're trying to go, and actually says, hey, this program was amazing, this coach is awesome, they did everything for me, I had to follow the program and I got to my goal. So definitely testimonies are huge. You want to have some sort of evidence in that area as well. Zach, why don't you hit the next point here?
Yeah, next point is you want to take into consideration their social status. Maybe, well, there probably are on social media, right? Most fitness coaches are on social media. You want to think about, do they have a lot of followers or do they not have a lot of followers? The chances are if they have a lot of followers, they might have more clients.
Right.
More clients means you're probably going to get less one-on-one time with the coach. That's not good for anybody. Whether or not you like one-on-one time, like you need to have your own specialized time for him to really dial in your program.
Right.
And then on the other side, if they have a small amount of followers, not saying that their business is doing bad, but just the fact that maybe they're not as known. So they're able to probably spend a little bit more time with you one-on-one and really have a custom tailored program for you and really spend time on you during the weeks and maybe phasing or, switching up your routine just to make sure you're getting results.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the big guys who have a ton of followers, they'll most likely have other coaches who run their programs or run, their clients through. So it's like with a big name, you're probably going to be working with another different coach. They're probably going to bring you through, the same principles, the same strategies, but at the end, you are wanting to invest in that coach or in that program because you want to work with the coach. But a lot of people don't end up working with them, or I would say this, a lot of the times the big names, the big followers, maybe they don't have any coaches, but they just have a program. And it's sort of a one-size-fits-all program. They sort of kind of throw the program out there, or it's like just an online app thing. Their face is all over it. And they just basically have, the general workouts and, suggested meal plans to follow. and that's it. Like, and they're cheap too, probably like maybe $100 a month or $50 a month, right? But
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are actually truly successful, and with someone who has a big name and just has an app that they're running, and they're selling it to a bunch of people for cheap. But where's how's the results look like? Transformation, are they good? You see the fruit on the tree there?
And we haven't talked about that style of coaching yet,
Yeah,
which
we
is
haven't.
individualistic coaching, where you're only getting one coaching style, and
Right.
that's not going to help you try to reach your goals when you might have what workout to do on Monday, but you don't know what to eat. You don't know, what your goals are supposed to look like from a Monday to Friday standpoint. Like, you have no help outside of what to do on the ground involving sit-ups and push-ups.
Yeah, you're not investing in a coach. You're investing in a program that is your coach, and that's all you're gonna get. Which, our next point, we're gonna talk about programming. So again, it's like, truly there is no one size fits all program, and what we mean by that is, like, for most people, they need to have an individualized, customized meal plan or just nutritional plan, because someone who may love carbs, their body does well with carbs, whereas someone who has maybe the similar goals doesn't do well with carbs. And so when they're eating the same meal plan, because someone actually has a slower metabolism, and their body just puts on weight because it's slow and they're just taking on carbs, where somebody has a fast metabolism, they're going to get different results in the end. So again, having that customized nutrition plan and workout plan, that's going to actually help them achieve their own goals, right? Because again, there's not a single person with the same DNA in the world, and yet there's billions of people. And yet, again, you can have sort of maybe a program that sort of focuses on one specific person who has that one specific goal, but at the end of the day, they all need individualized, numbers, in which is calories and macros.
Yeah, and it's not just like DNA based, like our bodies are different, but our lifestyles are different.
Right.
We have different jobs. We have different family responsibilities. I need something that can allow me to eat all throughout the day. Nate has a family to feed. He's got to cook for people. He works a full-time job. Everyone has different things going on in their lifestyle.
Exactly.
So this is what I always like telling people. You have to fit fitness into your lifestyle, not change your lifestyle to fitness, or else you won't be successful.
Yeah, I love that. That's good. That's a solid advice there. Maybe a piece of content, you think?
I tailor it towards weight loss.
I was going to say you should post that, though.
Yeah, you think?
That's solid,
you like that?
Yeah. Let's get some views right there. So, yeah, again, there's no one-size-fits-all program, and you got to make a program. You want to look for someone, a coach who can give you a program that's going to fit your lifestyle. And I was actually just talking about this morning. Last week, I set a goal to start going to the gym at 6 a.m., knock out my workout. And this morning, I actually posted me talking about how I'm not sticking with that goal right now. I actually changed my mind because I tried it for the past week and just didn't feel good. Like, it wasn't fitting my schedule and how I felt. Like, I was tired throughout my workout, and then I was tired throughout the day. I didn't have any meals when working out early in the morning, so therefore I was eating on an empty stomach. Compared to my normal workout times, I'm working out at 11 a.m. to 12, and I have maybe 1 or 2 meals in, and I have energy throughout the day. So it's like, I want to do what's best for my schedule and my life, and that's what works for me. So just learning how to change, goals and fitting it all into your schedule is the key to actually having success. Because if it doesn't fit your schedule, like Zach said, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to stick with it.
So now the next point we have is, what kind of app utilization does maybe your fitness coach have? Or is there no app at all and it's just pen and paper?
Yeah.
And I know you have experience doing both. What's kind of your knowledge, your guidance when it comes to having a specific app and program for your client versus just using PDFs, pen and paper, tracking and stuff?
Yeah, my experience with the whole PDF and just tracking it on your own with like pen and paper, even in the gym, like you maybe print out the PDF and then you have like the workouts in paper. And, some people like that old school. I would say more so the older generation likes that way. When I first started doing online coaching, that's what I did, just because I didn't really have the app. But I believe now, in the times that we're in, everything is online. Everything is accessible through our mobile phones. We're so It's everything is just in our hands, right? We have access to everything in our hands. And so with that being said, I think it's more efficient, it's more convenient for people to just access their workouts, their meal plan, their coaches through their phone, which they're on all the time anyway, when they're trying to change music throughout the workout or trying to take gym selfies, whatever. Everything is in that hand. They don't have to go to another place and look for in their gym bag a PDF or, their workouts and meal plans, right? So that's where I'm more now leaning towards, is sort of the app utilization to have better access to, have everything in one place. And I have actually seen better progress from my clients moved from apps to just simple PDF, like ebook stuff.
You can't lie either when it comes to the program. Well, I guess when it comes to like weight tracking, if you have a Bluetooth scale or whatnot, you can't really lie if it syncs up to the app.
Yeah.
But like, I could weigh in and be like, I'm a pound less. Nate won't know. Your coach isn't gonna know if you're doing it pen and paper.
Right. If you just send it to them, hey, here's my stats here. Whereas the app is so organized, structured, easy to use. The fact that like everything is in there, as a coach too, it makes it easier for us to keep track and record everything and see, okay, here's your progress. You can even do like measure your body circumference, like there's obviously a ton of ways on how you can keep track of your progress, not just your weight and picks, but body circumference. You can probably do some simple scans for your body fat, and it's not going to be 100% accurate, but still you can still track your progress and input it into the app, in which your coach can now see all that information. And then it's easier for us to actually know where the problem is, where the struggles are at, what are you not doing, because you're putting in all this work, but you're still down here. So it's easier for us too, not only the clients, for trainers to also keep track and know where you're at.
And it's cool. I want to add this too. Coaches like Nate and myself, we can see your steps, we can see your BPM, your sleep. We can track so many different things, and you don't even have to track your meals anymore. All you have to do is say you ate the meal that we have on schedule for you, and it automatically tracks all the calories, macros, micros. There's so much beauty to it, and it takes the stress out of the client's hands, because they don't have to work on writing down every little thing on pen and paper.
Yeah. So just imagine the PDFs, you don't have video illustrations of you doing the workout. You don't have, you maybe have directions on how to cook the food, but our apps, because we actually use the same app, we have actual videos on every single recipe and meal that, you can eat, and it'll have a video right there, say, boom, click on it, and it'll show you exactly how to cook it, what it looks like, the ingredients, the directions. And then also you can change the serving size too. So it's like, if you want to cook 5 meals worth for the whole week, just change your serving size to 5, and it'll give you how much ingredients you need to actually make those 5 servings. So super convenient. No ebook or PDF is going to give you that type of access and valuable resources there.
They should hire us as salespeople at this point.
I know, it's kind of messed up. Let's move on here. We're still in the programming. So again, there's no one size fits all. You got to consider that. Are you looking for more of an individualized, or you just kind of need some basic guidance? Do you need an app, or do you just are okay with, simple PDF ebooks or written pen and paper type programs? And then are you looking for the whole package, right? Are you someone who just needs the whole package of workouts, nutrition, accountability, just that knowledge and what to do, right, to actually see good progress through the span of, say, maybe 3 to 6 months? Or do you just maybe need help with one area, whether it's nutrition or workouts or accountability, right? I know some coaches out there probably just provide nutritional help, which is great for people who has that work ethic to get to the gym, to train hard, who has consistency in that, but just needs more guidance in knowledge and nutrition. And then lastly, you consider those guys like we talked about before, who just throws you a program out there. We call them the program dumper. This is someone who gives you a program and just kind of leaves you hanging, and that's it. That's all you get, is you pay for the program and you're not paying for the coach. So that's programming. Just to recap again, we went over online versus in person. Do they have the fruit on the tree? Do they got testimonials? What's their social status? And then programming, that's 5. We got 2 more here. Bear with us. Education. is it important for you as a client that the trainer you want to invest in has a certification or degree? Now, I'll tell you what. I have a certification in the National Academy of Sports Medicine. Sounds fancy. But I'll tell you what. I could have done without it. And my clients probably would have gotten the same results without it. I would have gotten the same results myself without it because I've been in the fitness industry for over 12 years now. Been training since I was in my dad's garage, in middle school, even I would say elementary, just messing with weights. But that's where most of my experience and knowledge comes from in helping people achieve more muscle or burn more fat is from my experience. And then maybe just learned a few things from my certification. But it was very technical stuff. It was a lot more like book smart, and so you have to consider the things. What are you looking for in a coach? Do they need to have certifications, or do they just need to have the fruit on the tree? Zach, what would you say?
Personally, I don't have any education or certifications, anything in the fitness world, so.
But yet he lost 170 pounds under 11 months. So that to me is like certification right there.
Yeah, so this is where Nate talked about how he did everything, at home, in the gym, in the garage gym, on YouTube. Like we both have studied thousands and thousands of hours by ourselves online, watching studies and whatnot on the art of training, nutrition, things like that. So we're not just people who don't have any knowledge.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we've actually put in so much energy and time ourselves to really understand this to like a T from the science perspective.
Right. It's like we've done all the research for you.
Exactly.
And you don't have to spend that time to do it. In which you pay us so that you get basically all the research that we did in a short time. It's like AI. You go on AI to get, it's like you can tell AI to read you give me the summary of this book so I don't have to spend all my life trying to figure out what it means and read it myself. So in a sense, it's like all the time that we spent on research and even experience by going and trying it out ourselves and saying, okay, this doesn't work. I'm not going to tell my clients to do this, or this does work. I'm going to implement this into my program. Right. You don't have to spend that time. And as we know, time is money, time is valuable. It's precious. You can't get it back. And I see so many guys actually wasting time on trying to get certified when it's like, just start, dude. Just start experimenting yourself and figuring it out rather than like spending a bunch of money and because like these days, bro, like even outside of fitness, like people are wasting money on school and they don't need it, and then they graduate and have a bunch of debt, and it's like they don't even get jobs that they got a degree for. It's like
two things I want to add to that. So one, think about all the social media marketers nowadays. All these young 20-year-olds who are doing social media marketing for Nike, for Disney, for Under Armour, any top brand in the world. None of them have a degree.
Yeah.
We grew up with tech in our hands that we're so used to as like a generation. We just have all the knowledge and we soak up everything like a sponge.
Yeah.
No one has degrees anymore, I'm not going to lie.
Right.
In any field, to be honest.
Right.
Unless you're like a doctor or something. Yeah. But second point, there are actually people who I know, you probably could name a few, but people who went to school for, sports, training, nutrition, that type of stuff, and I don't think they're as knowledgeable as people who have learned all their stuff online studying it themselves.
Right. I think about business. So many guys go to school for business. They get their bachelor's degree in business and yet don't know where to start on building a business when they get out. Yet you get someone who goes into the real world and starts just trial and error, failing at things and learning and being self-taught. There's Google and YouTube. That's all you need, bro, to survive out here these days. And it's like you have a kid, man, who's making millions, someone who went to school for 4 years to get a bachelor's degree into business and yet is in debt now, whereas the kid who's making millions, was ahead of the game just because he didn't go to school, wasted his time, and just was self-taught.
Yeah.
So we say all that in relation to if it's like you're not just spending money on a coach because you're spending money on a coach. You're spending money and investing into your health, saving yourself the time, the effort, and just the the blood, sweat, and tears to try and figure out how to get to your goals. In which the trainer is actually going to say, "Hey, I know how to get there. I've been through it myself. I've done trial and error, failed and succeeded at so many things that which now I've come up with this amazing, beautiful plan. Here it is. It's for you. Follow it if you want to invest, and I'm going to save the time, the money, the effort, and you're going to be thankful 3 to 6 months down the road because you're going to say, man, I wish I just would have started this earlier. Why didn't I do this earlier? Or from the beginning of my fitness journey, rather than wasting time and money on my own trying to figure it out." And I think that comes down to a pride thing, wouldn't you say?
100%. Yeah.
It's like, I want to do it on my own. Mm-hmm. But I think it takes guts to actually say, you know what, I need help.
And chances are, I actually don't like this mindset. I'm sorry that I'm saying this, but chances are you're actually going to end up worse than when you started. You're going to end up yo-yo dieting. You're going to end up falling off the wagon and actually have a bad taste left in your mouth for fitness.
Yeah. You're going to have a horrible relationship probably with food. Mm-hmm. You're just like, I hate it. I just give up. I quit, and it's just too hard. You're probably going to succumb to a mindset of just giving up and quitting and just living, just accepting your life in which you're unhealthy and fat.
Like Nate said, that's why we go to doctors. That's why we use these individuals in our lives to help us, from point A to point B.
Yeah, exactly. So let's keep it moving, brother. We got lots more to cover here. Just a few things. So last but not least, what we would consider you think about or recommend when looking for fitness coaches. Lastly is like, what's your experience when you, like, how do you feel when you sort of interact with this coach, right? Whether it be in person, online, or even just going through someone's content, how do you feel, right? Do you feel like you could trust this person? Do you feel like you could like this person? Do you feel like you could get to know this person? I feel like those are 3 things that really help someone sort of look into investing in a coach or a fitness trainer, is if they like, know, and trust you. And so my question is, when you interact with this coach, how do you feel? What's your experience like with them? If you've maybe ever talked to them, do they sound like they care, or do they sound like, oh, you're just another person out there who, is trying to get in shape?
And compare the version of the coach on social media to the version that you are talking to on the phone, or if it's a Zoom meeting. Take into consideration if they're like being fake with you in comparison to how they act on social media.
Yeah, are they the same person? Mm-hmm. Or do they sort of act differently?
Right.
Do they seem all happy and all want to help you on their content, but then when they hop on the phone call, they're like, what's up, what do you want? Like, this is how much I cost, want in or out, So, again, it's like, obviously you want someone who's going to care, because therefore you're going to get better results, most likely that way. So yeah, that would be like the last point. So 7 points there. That's a lot of stuff right there.
It's a lot.
So we hope this obviously is helping you guys so far. Last but not least, guys, we're gonna dive into, if you've been actually thinking about a coach. Zach and I are just gonna actually talk about what we specialize in, what we do, so that if perhaps maybe we actually specialize in something that sort of the goal that you're trying to get to, or the direction you're going in, then maybe you can actually reach out and look into us. So first of all, I'm going to go first. I do online fitness coaching. So anywhere around the world, whoever is looking for specifically to lose 20 to 30 pounds, I actually do focus more so on young adult men. So most likely in the ages of 20 to 35. Obviously, if it's out of that range and you are really serious about getting into better shape, then we can talk. But again, young adult men who are wanting to just get rid of that, belly fat, or that stubborn body fat of layers that are just covering their core, their abs, and they're just wanting to lean down. If they also lack muscle mass, then that's a good indication that we could possibly work together as well, because I do specialize in muscle building, but as well as obviously fat burning. So I came from sort of the skinny fat world, where I was so eager to just build more muscle and look bigger and leaner, but I also was skinny fat, so I had, maybe a few layers of body fat I wanted to get rid of. And therefore, I have gotten there and brought many others through this journey, Whereas if you're maybe more on the skinny fat side where you want to lose 20 to 30 pounds, but also maintain and build more lean muscle mass, again, that's who I specifically help in 12 weeks. I have the fruit on the tree. I practice what I preach. I just got done sharing with you guys that I'm even now still trying to work a solid schedule in my routine that I can stick with. You know, and I like to keep things simplistic and simple. I like to just not leave my clients with any sort of guesswork and just basically have them have everything they need to get to their goals without having to think about what their next step is. So I always like to tell my clients, dude, follow the program. You don't have to think or do anything. Just implement everything I tell you to do and you'll have no problems. And I would say again, yeah, I'm more of a physique / lifestyle coach. I am going to help you sort of accomplish a better body composition for yourself, but also learn how to make this a lifestyle and implement it to your schedule, whether you're, you know, a young dad who's busy with kids or a single dude who's working 12, 16-hour shifts. So that's me. That's Coach Nate. Peak Physique. Zach, what about you?
Coach Zach, I go by the name The Weight Loss Professor, and I'm 100% online. I am a specialist in fat to fit transformations, obese to beast. If you are embarrassed of the way you look in public, if you hate the way you feel, and you are scared of how long you might live, I'm your guy. I lost 170 pounds in 2021 in under 11 months. Since then, I've not only maintained, but I've improved my own physical and mental health, and have helped others lose hundreds of pounds themselves, go from suicidal to the happiest versions of themselves. I take, like Nate, the simplicity aspect of it. Zero brain power from you, the client. I give you the meal plan, I give you the training, I give you all of the techniques that I used and have helped others lose so much weight in the easiest and most fast way, healthy way, obviously. That's what I do. And all you have to do is literally buy, cook, and eat the foods that I tell you to, touch the weights that I tell you to, and you're going to see a ton of fat loss.
Boom. Amen.
Bam.
There you go.
And
That's solid.
I'm all 3 in 1: fitness, nutrition, mindset coach.
Solid. If I was fat, I'd definitely reach out to you, bro.
That means a lot, thank you.
Yeah. Fat to fit.
Fat to fit, baby.
Or what's the other one? Obese
to beast. Yeah.
Love that. That's solid. Well, guys, we hope this encourages you guys to sort of look a little bit deeper into what it means to find a right fitness coach for you, you know, how to sort of sift through the right ones and, you know, just pass by the ones that are not for you. Final things we want to say, though, is like it's obviously important. It's super important to understand what your goals are. That's key there. It's like if you don't have a specific goal, it's going to be very hard to find the right coach for you because, you know, you're not going to really know what you want, right? You have to know what you want and why you want it. Therefore, finding the right coach is going to be a lot easier for you, right? Because there's so many coaches out there who specialize in what you're trying to get and what you're trying to accomplish. And then there's also other coaches out there who just have a general market where they're trying to help everybody and anybody, and sometimes that results in not helping anybody, in which you're not going to get great results because they're just helping everybody, you know, achieve the same thing. Whereas if you get a specialist, right, I always like to say this, if you had brain problems, right, you would much rather invest in a brain surgeon than just a regular doctor. Doctors help anybody who walks in the door. Brain surgeons are going to help people who actually have brain problems. And so if you had a brain problem, you would probably be more confident to invest and pay more money, obviously, into a brain surgeon. So that's the problem. That's the goal you have. So get a coach that can actually help that specific problem. So hope that helps, guys. I know this was a lot longer than usual, but we hope it blesses you and encourages you to find the right coach. Again, this is Zachy and Nate with the Pre-Pump Show. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let us know what else you guys would like to hear from us, and we hope you have a blessed one. See you in the next episode.